Welcome to Freaky Fast Broadcasting, home of the ARCA Evolution Series. Here tonight, we have much on the line as we go looking to finish the round of 16 here at Daytona for the final cutoff race of the round one of the playoffs. 16 drivers enter tonight with a chance for a championship. That will change after the checker flag drops, and we will have 12 drivers after that left shooting to go down to the next cutoff, down to 8. So we'll have to see what action plays out here tonight in the 40 laps here at the ARCA Evolution Series at the Daytona International Speedway here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Let's give a special shout out to our sponsors here tonight at the Evolution Racing League. First up, we have Or Nissan Central, the leading Nissan dealership in Oklahoma City. You can go check out their website at ornissancentral.com. Next, we have Sheffield Graphics, the leading designer in sim racing paint schemes and liveries. It was founded by a Navy veteran, and a portion of every paint goes to the Military Foundation Folds of Honor. It's a great non-profit organization who gives sponsorship to the families of fallen soldiers and disabled veterans. Make sure to go check them out on Facebook under Sheffield Graphics. Next, we have ButtKicker. Every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail, from subtle footsteps to the rumble of V10 powered race car. By moving a physical mass instead of only air, the Gamer 2 provides instant, accurate, powerful race response, and it's perfectly in sync with every game with no additional software required. So make sure you go to ButtKicker.com and check out their ButtKicker Gamer 2 and their wide line of products there at their website, and you can use FreakyFast20 to get 20% off there of any purchase online at ButtKicker.com. Feel what you've been missing. Thank you to the proud sponsors here at the Evolution Racing Leagues and Freaky Fast Broadcasting. But tonight is all about the racing here at Daytona final cutoff race. I am Zach Hall calling the action up here. Alongside me will be Brandon Colley, and we'll have Robert Moyer Jr., the birthday man, up in the booth here running the cameras and being our producer tonight. So everybody out there in the chat, make sure you give him a warm welcome and a birthday shout out, because he's definitely a special guy here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. He's the man that makes it all happen. Lee calls him Oz, and we definitely want to wish him a happy birthday. But Brandon, we're here at Daytona, final cut-off race for the first round of the playoffs, man. It's all going to come down to who can execute tonight to get into that next round.
That's exactly right. Yeah, looking at the points, I mean, we've got two drivers out here that realistically have to win to advance to the next round. That's going to be Zach Samlin and Matthew Dude, looking to be too far back to be able to make it in on points. But the cutoff line, Harold Rothery, the first guy on the outside looking in, sitting at 3,063 points, but 12th and 11th place in points, 3,073, and then just above them, 3,074 for Brian Fine. So three drivers looking to not have a bad race and give up 10 or 11 points and find themselves getting knocked out here in the last race of Daytona. But the big one can strike at any time, and a lot of guys could be finding themselves having a bad race here, and it could shake up quite a bit. I think Robert Fitzpatrick Sr., mathematically, I think he can still point his way in, but I think he's going to be another one of those drivers that's thinking, man, I might have to win this thing if I want to try to get inside the top 12 here to advance to the next round, the round of 12. So we're going to have to keep an eye on it. Guys out here putting down some qualifying laps now, trying to get that safe track position up to the front if you can, if at all possible, putting down that good lap, and hoping that if something happens, it's not you getting turned and it all happens behind you.
Entering tonight, only two drivers safe, David Edwards and Justin Markey locking themselves in. But really, Brandon, I'm looking at from 6th on down to that 12th position, only 10 points separating them. And if one of those drivers in that final bottom 4 there wins tonight, that cutoff line there, 12th, 11th, and 10th, those areas of the points are going to be very, very close. So every position is going to matter. I tell you what, it could definitely throw a shakeup into this if someone in that bottom 4 wins.
Absolutely, and traditionally you'll see here guys electing to play it safe, hanging toward the back of the field, letting the race play out, and if there's a wreck, they're able to avoid it, giving themselves plenty of space. But we've only got 40 laps. 40 laps at Daytona ticks off very, very quickly. I don't think you can spend all that much time trying to play it safe at the back, but again, the risk versus reward for some of these guys, just hoping to not have a bad race, maybe saying, hey, let's try not to win this thing. The name of the game here at Daytona tonight for this last race of the round of 16 is just don't get wrecked.
That will definitely be the plan for these drivers tonight entering this final race of the round of 16. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and bell notification button to let you know when Freaky Fast goes live each and every time, so you miss none of this beautiful action out here in live 1080p crispness. Actually, I believe, are we at 1440p? I actually got to ask our birthday man. We are at 1440p, so look at what am I saying? I'm downplaying us. We got 1440p for all you people out there. But it looks like qualifying is nearing the end here with 10 seconds remaining as one of our men locked into the next round. Justin Malarkey, a winner from our opening race of the playoffs. He looks like he's going to bring home that Sheffield Graphics pole, as there it is. Qualifying has expired, and he will be the winner of that pole. Let's go ahead and bring up our starting grid tonight so we can get it talking with Justin Malarkey about that qualifying lap there and what he feels like he needs to do here tonight as he's locked into the next round. And we are just waiting for the moment for the grid. And there it is. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen, but Malarkey there starting from the pole as he's going to be your Sheffield Graphics pole winner tonight. Second's going to go to Anthony Gaudio. Third's going to be Richard Gonzalez. Fourth will be Justin Hendry. Fifth's going to be Jeff Carson. Sixth is Matt Upbrook. Seventh, Stephen Carey. Eighth, Brandon Perry. Ninth is going to be Christopher Schmerl. And rounding out your top 10 is Michael Haru in the 7th.
Matthew Dude, one of those drivers that's looking like he needs a win for tonight's race, starting in 11th. Stephen Racing 12th, Zach Sandlin 13th, Jake Shea 14th, Brian Fine 15th, James Wright 16th, Steve Potter 17th, David Edwards looking like he's going to be playing it safe in the 18th position, and Robert Fitzpatrick Sr. rounding out your field in the 19th position.
And that is your starting grid here tonight for the ARCA Evolution Series. Let's go ahead and bring down our pole setter, Justin Malarkey, as he has locked himself into the next round, but he is definitely one looking for another win here from MR73 Racing. Here's your pole setter, Justin Malarkey.
Plan.
Hey, Justin.
Hey.
Brandon up in the booth, you got a copy?
Yes, how are you?
Well, not as good as yourself, man. Congratulations on getting the Sheffield Graphics Pole Award here at Daytona. We know how crucial it is to get a good start position here, try to stay out of the mess, stay ahead of everything and all the calamity that's potentially going to happen behind you. But it's kind of the tale of two stories here. You've got yourself and David Edwards, both guys that are locked into the next round, don't have anything to worry about here. You've elected to, go after it, get the pole here, whereas David Edwards hanging toward the back. What do you think your game plan here tonight's going to be?
Yeah, I always figure if you stay out front, there's less cars that you got to worry about, hopefully. That's my goal. But yeah, we'll see. It's, you can get shuffled back here pretty fast. We were just talking strategy now, trying to figure out what to do here. But yeah, it should be good. It should be entertaining.
Well, last question I'll ask you here before we get you back down there to get ready to start this thing. You're already locked in. You've got the pole. Is your game plan just to go out here and try to win this thing? I mean, you got nothing to lose. You can afford to get wrecked. Maybe keep one of these guys that has to win to advance to the round of 12 here that's on the outside looking in. Trying to keep them out of victory lane.
Yeah, I'm going to have that 55 is going to be in front of my bumper, and I'm going to be pushing him to the win. That's the goal tonight. I want to get him to the next round.
Well, appreciate it, and be looking forward to seeing you guys try to hook up and get to the front here, but let you get back down there and start this wild race off, man. Wish you the best of luck. Hopefully we'll talk to you at the end of it.
Yeah, go get it. It'll be fun.
All right, that was your Sheffield Graphics pole winner here tonight of Justin Malarkey starting from that pole position. What a great talk there with our own Brandon Colley as we bring it through 3 and 4, pacing for the final time before we bring out the first green of the evening. It's all about this final race. 16 drivers still within a shot to win a championship, but like we said earlier, that checker flag flies. It is only 12 chances left. Pace car takes the left-hand turn down the pit road. We're looking for the green flag. There it is, green flag in the air. Malarkey will lead us across the line. Gaudio with a decent start on the top. It looks like the 73 immediately going to jump up to the top here and lead that outside line, then drop back to the bottom. as it's going to be double fouled back from the second position on.
Well, it's going to be a big story of the race, just seeing which guys are going to be a lot more aggressive. Talked about it yet again. Only 40 laps, not a lot of time, and especially at Daytona, there is potential for 3 lanes, but traditionally you're only going to see the 2. So if you get mired back in the pack when they get double filed out, you're going to have a hard time getting your way up to the front past both of those lanes. We've already got a lead change. Anthony Gaudio charging to the outside now with a little bit of draft to help him take the lead.
Yeah, Gaudio taking a quick lead here, looking like to lead the first lap of this race, crossing the line this time with the help of Justin Hendry and that 28 machine, who needs a good, solid run here tonight to get himself into the round of 12. Same with Gaudio, but here comes the 73 of Malarkey trying to make something happen. He's already locked in, but he wants, you heard him say, he wants to help that 55 of Matthew Dew get into that next round. He will definitely be looking to help him.
And you're seeing it right here. It's one of the things that I love the most about running these ARCA cars at the plate tracks. You're able to do so much just by yourself. You're not having to rely so much on having somebody push you. And talking about pushing, looking at Justin Hendry and how he's pushing Gaudio here in the lead, just keeping that consistent distance between the 2 cars to maximize the draft and the amount of downforce that he's taken off of his car to carry the speed, as well as the downforce he's taken off the rear of the 3. And you got to be careful. You get a little bit too close, these bumpers don't line up too well. Jack your rear tires up off the guy in front of you, spin them around very quickly. And I'm sure we're going to see a number of wrecks happen tonight because of that in itself.
Yeah, the good old locking of the bumpers, and it does not create great thing with these ARCA cars. They do not like to be pushed, that's for sure, Brandon. Contact will definitely not be liked for the driver ahead if it's given. Sometimes you got to do it to go fast, but this early in the race, definitely looking to play it safe.
Yeah, absolutely. You can give them a little tiny bump, but you have to be extremely careful with how much speed you're carrying into that bump. It's like I said, it's like a wedge on the front of these cars, and you're just going to go underneath the back bumper of the guy that you're trying to give a bump to if it's a little bit too hard. When the back tires aren't on the ground anymore, it's almost like driving a forklift. If anybody's got any experience with that, they like to turn.
Yeah, it definitely helps to turn, definitely, for sure. As we look now through this in-car cam of the 28. Actually, no, sorry, that is not just Hendry. That's Richard Gonzalez in the 6 now. Hendry's jumped up to the top in front of Malarkey as they race through 3 and 4. What a battle. There's Jeff Carson at 9 coming into the picture also, as we have multiple different cars. Matt Upbrook on the bottom there. You got Stephen Carey, just Chris Burrell up top, and a new looking paint scheme. So right now the pack running all together except for the, really, it looks like about a 13-car breakaway. Then we have a pack of David Edwards, James Wright, Jake Hachey, Steve Potter, and Stephen Wilson.
Really spread out here at the back, which is, I mean, traditionally you will see that guys wanting to play it safe, maybe not this far back, losing touch with the lead draft, but just trying to make sure they've got plenty of space for themselves if that big wreck happens. But again, talking about it, it's only a 40-lap race. It is a sprint to the finish here. You do not have a lot of time. You can do this and be safe, but if that wreck does not happen, it's going to be a tall task for you to get back up to the lead draft here, especially with the cars spread out as they are at this backpack. Really only 2 cars within serious drafting distance of each other. The good news is they're going to have green flag pit stops if we don't get a caution. Only a 50% fuel loading here, so they're going to have to pit before the end of the race for fuel. They cannot make it to the end. So that is something that they can try to play and maybe gap these guys a little bit, but they're going to have to work together pretty well to carry a lot of speed, considering the big pack ahead of them. Everybody getting major draft off of one another, able to carry a lot more straightaway speed and corner speed.
Looking at the package side by side, we're seeing some great racing here early on. Looking through the field, we did not have Robert Fitzpatrick Sr. take the grid, so he is out of this race right now, so not even taking part so far in that 48. Doesn't like he will be moving on to the next round with that happening. And also Harold Rothery, I believe we do not have him out there tonight, so that's 2 drivers in the bottom 4 that will not be moving on due to them not being here tonight. So Matthew Dude and Zach Salmon are the 2 drivers looking on the outside, looking in.
And like I talked about before, they're 2 guys that just how far back they are they're going to need a win, it looks like, to lock themselves into the next round. Not going to be able to point their way in, I believe, unless a lot of drastic things happen in this race. I think it's mathematically still possible, but realistically going to take a win. And, you know, we talked to Justin Malarkey before the race. He said he was hoping to be able to push his teammate Matthew Dude to the win to make sure he gets locked in. And now Matthew Dude sitting in the 10th position, 5th car back on the outside lane here, just riding around right now. And I've also got to point out, I got a bone to pick with the MR73 guys. Everybody except for Matthew Dude has the exact same paint scheme. It is hard for me to tell who is who just by glancing, but Matthew Dude's still rocking that Ninja Turtle scheme. So appreciate that, Matthew.
Yeah, I just noticed that actually too. They do have the same paint. It definitely is not the easiest to decipher, but we will do our best here as they run through 3 and 4. Anthony Gaudio hanging on to that lead. One of our favorites entering the playoffs. Has not had the races he's would have liked up to this point in that 3, but still looking to survive and move on to that next round. And the key to making it through these playoffs is survive in advance. That's the great, you know, I can't even say it now because I forgot his name. Jim Valvano. There you go.
Oh, it looks like we got a 3 wide move now. Looks like Malarkey taking it 3 wide for the lead here. Great run again. You can do a lot by yourself with these ARCA cars, but he stalled out just a little bit here now. Going to allow Hendry to get the momentum. Maybe going to see Jeff Carson fill that gap. Nope. Looks like Malarkey going to slot back in line. But you saw just that breakup of the outside line, how much it cost them in momentum, allowed the inside lane to start charging forward here just a little bit. And now they're trying to reform, get that momentum back going, see if they can re-push to kind of leapfrog Gaudio there on the inside lane.
Well, the biggest thing I've seen through these first 10 laps, this first 25% of this race quarter here, is really that the outside and inside are pretty dead even. I mean, we're looking at a great race, side by side battling through the whole field up here in the front. This is exactly what I want to see as a plate race is happening in front of us.
From a spectator, that's exactly what you want to see. But as a driver, you're just like, man, we just cannot seem to figure out how to get these runs going. And I think it's just due to the fact that, you know, in the trucks, in the Xfinity cars, in the Cup cars, you can rely on that bump draft and just lean on the back bumper of the guy ahead of you and really push him down the backstretch. Especially on the high side, you kind of have to do that off the corners to maximize that momentum you're getting. Not being able to do that too well on the ARCA cars, you've just got to hope that the timing is right off the corners. Everybody's in that ideal spacing to carry that draft as much as possible and generate that really big run. And because of that, it's been so dead even right now. And I mean, the first 6 drivers, I mean, they're nose to tail, dead even, side by side down the backstretch here going into turn 3. Haven't been able to really figure out what they need to do to generate the run on the high side just yet.
As you can see, they're still looking to get that run. They just had, like you said, just haven't been able to generate enough to get up and by Gaudio. We know that iRacing has implemented a lot of side drafting and new drafting stuff into this these builds. Is what we're seeing a possibility of just you beside each other, you slow the line down beside you, and then you get there and you can't really break that bubble. You really got to break that bubble, or are we just seeing 2 even lines? That's one thing I'm definitely questioning in my head.
I'm thinking it's just the car itself. As far as I'm aware, there's really not any side drafting effects for the ARCA cars, especially, if there is, not as significant as what we'll see in the Cup cars later on tonight. It's just the way you have to run plate races so different, because the things you're used to doing at the plate races are not really a viable option for you in these cars. And it's almost like learning a completely new way to race here. And you just have to minimize your scrubbing of speed with your steering inputs and try to be as smooth as possible. I think that benefits you far more in these cars than it does in even the Cup cars or the Xfinity cars.
Gaudio still continuing to have a strong hold on this lead. Headed down the back straightaway. Just have not been able to do anything with that 3 out front. Richard Gonzalez been able to hold strongly on the bottom with teammate Matt Upbrook there in tow in that 16 machine. Teammate David Edwards of Donkey Punch Racing, he's locked into the next round. He's got a whole different plan going on here as our pack back here in 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th. They're 15 seconds back, Brandon, almost half a track now.
Yeah, just trying to play it easy and found themselves now. They just can't seem to find the speed to even start cutting into that lead pack just a little bit as continuously. It seems like every 2-3 seconds they're losing another tenth on this lead pack, now to 16.5 seconds and 14th for David Edwards. And it's not all bad, but they really need to rely on a caution. You know, David Edwards, not so much. He can afford to just ride back there in 14th. If he finishes there, it's no big deal for him. He's locked in. He's got, you know, he's not losing anything by even finishing last place here tonight. But somebody like Steven Rasick, who needs to finish up toward the front, who's really close on that bubble, if he's going to have to find some way to get to the front. Granted, he's kind of got a bit of a help in having Fitzpatrick and Rothery not run the race, so it's mathematically, you know, the guys have to win to bump him out. But don't put yourself in a position that if they are in a position to win, you're scrambling saying, man, I still need to beat some of these other guys around me on points. I mean, between himself, Brian Fine, and James Wright, it's only 1 point separation between them and less than 10 to Stephen Carey in 9th position.
No, you're exactly right. He's got to think about the other guys around him, because if another guy goes out there and wins, that takes one less spot ahead of him. And look at this. Finally, the outside line with the help of Jeff Carson in a 9. Hendrick will take that lead here with 25 to go. Now what I'm thinking, Brandon, we got 20 or 50% fuel load here tonight. Can these drivers do 20 laps on a 50% fuel load to make it a halfway all the way to the stop? That is my question in my head.
That would be the ideal number, but just thinking about it, normally you're going to see about 30 to 35 laps is when guys would normally pit with 50% fuel load. If you're saving, it's going to be pretty close to 20, but if you can't make it to 20, I mean, that's really going to shake up the finishing order, because you're going to have to make 2 pit stops, especially if it goes green. And the more green flag pit stops you have, I mean, that's the most dangerous thing, part of the cycle, is making that transition onto pit road under green flag conditions, having to slow down the car. You'll see a lot of penalties, a lot of lockups, guys getting rear-ended, guys catching penalties, and that will shake up the whole complexion of who could potentially be winning this race.
Pit stops here. That's, you know, that's one of my favorite aspects of Daytona, is that pit stop aspect. When you get into a green flag segment of this race, that is where you can make up a lot of time as a driver. We'll have to see who can do it the best, because we are definitely nearing that zone with 24 to go. These drivers are going to be looking to make at least 1 pit stop here tonight to make it to the end of this race.
And I got to tell you, for as side-by-side as this lead pack has been, it has been extraordinarily clean. I haven't even seen any moments that make me think, oh man, here we go. Plenty of space given, and honestly, that may be what's costing that outside lane their chances of getting pretty big runs. I noticed a little bit beforehand, it seemed like the third car in line was being a big factor in generating these runs, and it seemed like the inside lane, then the first 3 cars were packed up a little bit closer than the first 3 on the outside, and that was seemingly the difference. And now that Justin Hendry has gotten around to the outside, still you're seeing that third car on the outside just not be quite as tucked up as you'd need to be to help maximize that speed down out of the corner to generate that advantage you're going to have on the high side.
Well, they say there's no I in team, and that's for sure here at Daytona, because you need numbers. If you don't have the help of an extra car, like you said there, Brandon, with that second car being able to get there, but you can see the space between that third car, like you pointed out. It is so crucial to have that help. Look at the inside line. They're more closely together, so there's going to be more energy generated between those 3 cars. And then, look, you can see almost 4 cars in this one picture compared to where we have 3 on the top.
Yeah, and it's MR73 teammates being the second, third, and fourth car in that lane. You'd figure that they'd be able to run a lot closer together, have a lot more trust in each other, and be pretty packed in tightly on the high side there. But Matthew Dude, fourth car back, playing it really safe, giving him plenty of space. And then Christopher Roll is lagging back even more so from his teammate. And it could be that they're trying to start generating a run. If they can get a decent enough run and all three commit, they could go to the outside of Jeff Carson and be able to leapfrog him and then get the teammates working and pushing that high side. And now looks like Malarkey again going to be shooting to the outside here.
Oh, man, another 3 wide move here down into the corner. Gaudio on the bottom there in the 3. They clear. Looks like Carson going to drop to that bottom lane, too. Now that's going to let the 73 in. Looks like they're pitting here.
Hitting pit road.
And this is going to be exactly halfway here. Completing lap number 20. It looks like Hendry in. Gaudio, Carson, Carey, and it looks like the final other driver to follow is Brian Fine.
And I like this move, being that first group to come in. They had a very few number of cars that allows for a bit more of an aggressive entry, not having to worry about too much in where you're going to be running. And now we've got that backpack led by David Edwards hitting pit road here a little bit behind the front pack. And I imagine we should see the rest of the lead pack here come down this time by getting word that a number of them are. We'll have to see if everyone does, though.
We'll see coming out of 4 here. Looks like the MR73 team will, and with the introduction also Michael Haru, Zach Sandlin. Oh, there goes Malarkey and Sandlin. And this is going to create a stack up. This is Smarroll around, Matthew Dude around, Zach Sandlin around, and the 21 David Hall checked up. And I tell you what, this is going to stay green because it's on the pit road. And from here, the big thing is they've lost major time.
Yeah, all of the MR73 guys, aside from Jake Ashay, getting involved in that one there, and it just one guy getting in just a little bit too hot, tagging another guy, and it caused calamity on the entry to pit road there. Ended up collecting quite a few guys. I think Chris Merle might have gotten away without any damage here, but he's sitting in his box for quite a long while. Maybe got a speeding penalty, and yeah, he may have been waiting for his teammates, as a matter of fact.
Oh man, yeah, I think they all waited for each other. You can see there's Hendry and Gaudio already by as they just left pit road. Major amount of time lost for those drivers. Here comes Carson with a big run. Looks like he gets to the 3's back bumper. Going to give the help to his teammate of Anthony Gaudio down the back straightaway from JCR Racing as they pull ahead here. And this should transition them to the lead with Richard Gonzalez and Matt Upbrook on pit road now. We'll see what the difference is once they exit. Here comes Gonzalez off of pit road. Tell you what, big difference here as they come out of 4. We'll see if Upbrook and Gonzalez can get up the speed and time. I think they should be able to come out somewhat close to these drivers.
I think they may just be able to tag on to the tail end of this draft here. I don't think they're going to get out in time and be up to speed enough to sit in front of Anthony Gaudio, Jeff Carson, and the 28 that are coming around now just behind him. It's going to be close, but I think the speed difference, they're going to have to just slot in line here and tag onto the draft. But Gaudio's still not making a move to the outside here. They're running out of time to sort that out. Now you see it, Jeff Carson backing out of it, allowing themselves plenty of space to get around. It was very close. That was a wonderful pit stop for the Donkey Punch Racing guys to come out as close as they have.
Yeah, they should be able to latch on now to this pack here that has Michael Haru, I believe, also on the tail end of it here in the 7. Yes, sir, it is. So, yeah, they'll be able to latch on here, and they still got a good shot. That's why you pit by yourself like that, too. Like you said, the numbers. It's a little easier to pit. Yeah, they might have been slower the lap before because they were so separated. But, man, they did a great job entering and exit pit road.
And green flag pit stops, that's the name of the game. You don't want to have to give up too much time. I mean, half a second on pit road equals a lot of time on the track, and you can't afford to give that up, as we saw now. I'm going to have to go back and look and see exactly where all the MR73 guys have kind of cycled out to at this point, exactly how far back they're going to be. But looking at the telemetry here, looking like, let's see, where can I find them? Where did they go? It's not good.
Yeah, it's definitely not looking great as, yeah, Malarkey. It looks like Brandon Perry in the 21. Sorry, I called him David Hall. I used to David Hall in the 21 in the Cup Series. And also the 14 Christopher Smarroll with Matthew Dude. These drivers all now 16.4 seconds back. And you got 2 drivers in there that need to win, Zach Sandlin and Matthew Dude.
Yeah, unless they get a caution, this is going to be a tall task for these guys to get back to the front. I think they've just got to pray to have one at this point, especially considering both guys that really need a win are in this same pack here. Granted, Sandlin is a lap down, though, but he is the first car 1 lap down. So if they get a caution, he's going to be reset not only to the back of the field, but also on the lead lap by being that lucky dog. And good news is still, even though the MR73 guys had issues on pit road, none of them are out of the race, and it doesn't even look like they have significant damage from any of the contact on pit road. So if they get reset, they should still be just as fast as ever.
15 to go. This race has definitely took a turn here as pit stops have definitely changed up everything here as they're catching Jake Shea in that 77. He'll be coming by this time to go down 2 laps. And also Zach Sandlin, he is a lap down somehow with all that sequence.
I believe he got a speeding penalty going onto pit road. He was the one that initiated the contact to cause that calamity for the MR73 guys on pit road. And I think he had to serve out his penalty, which is why he's a lap down now. Luckily, though, has draft help, not in the situation that Jake Shea found himself in, being all by himself and now going a second lap down here. But as the leaders were catching Jake Shea, not a popular move there to have the lap car stick to the bottom lane as they were calling for him to go high as the lead pack was catching him. Luckily, though, everybody able to get around the 77 without incident.
Great navigating, like you said there, from that lead pack. As they come across the line, it's going to be 13 to go. Everybody should be good on fuel, barring no overtime. But we'll have to see what happens there as Gaudio with the lead. Andrew's starting to get a good bit of help there from Brian Fine up top. The same with Richard Gonzalez and Matt Upbrook. We got a little bit of numbers being built up here on the top lane.
Oh!
And there goes Gaudio around with the help of Carson.
Oh, there goes Carson into Gonzalez.
Big wreck. First or Nissan Central caution of the night. And oh no, it's calamity here with 13 to go. And this is going to re-rack him and give everybody a shot at a new life here in the playoffs.
And honestly, looking at that saved Gaudio. He got shuffled out. They were going to blow by him there, but because he got so shuffled out, he was able to avoid everything and come out still in, looks like, second position now.
Yeah, he actually, like you said, got somewhat saved by that. But Carson trying to come back on the racing surface. The 7 of Haru was there, and man, sending the 9 up the racetrack into the 98. Brian Fine, that's multiple drivers there involved that are playoff contenders.
And that all started Jeff Carson getting to the back bumper of the 3 right as they were exiting the corner. Still had a bit of wheel in it as you were coming onto the backstretch there. Just the slightest of taps, but it was enough to upset the rear end of the car for Anthony Gaudio and get his nose pitched to the inside. And then Carson never really got off the back bumper and kicked him even farther sideways. Also got a point, and not only did that save Gaudio, but that was a whale of a save from the 3, managing to keep that car underneath him, get it back pointed straight, and not even slide the tires any more than the initial contact did.
What a wild turn of events. And looking out in the chat here, Travis Everett says, too clean, going to be it's going to be embarrassing for the Cup guys following this up. And he says he retracts his statement. So, Travis Everett bringing the bad juju after you brought it to him last week.
I wouldn't say too clean just yet. They've only had the 1 caution. You guys are going to have to match that for that to kind of make a lot of sense. And man, granted, you guys in the Cup Series known to keep pretty clean, but you had a lot more cars you're going to have to worry about there in the Cup Series to hope they mind their P's and Q's to only have the 1 caution. But I got a lot of faith in you Cup guys. Definitely within the realm of possibilities with the amount of talented drivers you guys have over there.
Yeah, Cup Series is a definitely a stacked field, and that's what these drivers in the ARCA Series are working towards. Remember, this is the feeder series. Anybody new out there tuning in for the first time? this is a feeder series for the Cup Series that we broadcast right after this, the RSR Cup Series at 9:20 Eastern. Don't miss that, as they'll be here at Daytona for their cutoff race of the round of 16, as 4 drivers competing there. But man, this is getting down to the end here, Brandon. This is going to be a, we've seen somewhat calm racing, side-by-side racing early in the going. But now I think is going to be where guys take their chance. You've seen those 3-wide moves. There's going to be guys going for those 3-wide moves, and we could see a 3-wide finish.
Very well could. We know Justin Malarkey now getting reset to the back of the field. He was one of the guys that seemingly, every time he got a run, not afraid to take it to that third lane and see if he could generate something. And now might just be able to have his teammates follow him up through the field here and potentially push him in that third lane and see if they can make that work. It's definitely not out of the realm of possibility, but for as narrow as Daytona is, 3 wide, definitely going to be risky. And with less than 10 laps to go by the time we take the green, you kind of got to risk it for the biscuit here and checkers or wreckers, especially if you're somebody like Malarkey or Edwards that already have a win. You don't want to ruin anybody's races, but you don't have anything to lose yourself.
Nothing to lose for Edwards and Malarkey. Will they take a big chance here? But also, they can help their teammates. Richard Gonzalez is going to be one they're looking to help that 6th machine. Same with Matt Obrook. Either one of those drivers gets a win, it locks them in. They're in pretty good position. But if something crazy happens here, Zach Sandlin wins or Matthew Dupe wins, it could get risky for a few drivers.
And again, talking about Brian Fine collecting that incident, Steven Rasick, he's been at the back for a majority of this race here. Now going to be able to get caught back up after being in that 4-car snake that was about half a track behind the leaders for the first half of this race. And also James Wright was kind of mired back in that as well. Going to be able to get back up here with decent track position relative to the leaders. Again, these guys only separated by a point. And I believe even Stephen Carey, he may have gotten collected in that wreck as well. Have to go up here and see if he has any damage. May have been able to get through unscathed, but he's not too far ahead of Brian Fine, Steven Rasick, and James Wright for that final transfer position. Definitely can't afford to be having any hiccups here because still we had that damage. The car's wrecked, but nobody's out of this race yet.
That's exactly right. Nobody out of this race. The 77, Jake Shea 2 laps down, but there is 18 positions up for availability here in the final 10 laps. Let's see how it plays out. Pace car's in. Green flag is out and away. Justin Hendry, your race leader with Gaudio, after that scare moment for him, gets saved by the caution. Now fighting for the lead here with Stephen Carey's help.
Well, inside, outside, 3 apiece. And teammates tail end of either side. Looks like now Malarkey shuffling out the 83 to take that second position in the inside lane here. 3 wide out of turn 2. Able to keep it clean, but again, you can do so much by yourself here now. 83 able to get a decent run himself and hold even on pure horsepower alone. Anthony Gaudio getting pushed back to the lead off the nose of Malarkey, but Malarkey now lead car on the outside, and he's got some help. Teammate Chris Smerol going to be right behind him.
See if Carey jumps down in front of Dude. Yes, he does. Jumps down in front of Matthew Dude. Puts himself in front of that 55 machine. Now the MR73 teammates up front. Malarkey leading the way. Sparrow pushing him. These guys got to be careful, though. We've already seen an incident of getting too hard to the bumper with the 9 and the 3. It's very easy to do with this package. Like you said, just a wedge on the front end. Look at these guys wiggle back and forth down the back straightaway with 8 to go.
Well, going back to what Malarkey said, looks like Hendry wanting to stick a 3 wide to the inside of Gaudio, decides not to. Gaudio was able to shut that door and protect his spot as the leader here. But they talked about they're wanting to get Matthew Dude the win. I mean, it's a funny way of going about it right now. Generally, if you're going to push that guy to the win, he's got to be ahead of you.
That's exactly right. Now he's up 3rd place on that outside line. Somehow they're going to shuffle him to the front of this pack if they want to get him the win with 7 to go here. That is not a lot of time to be jumbling around here.
It really isn't, and you can't guarantee that anybody behind Matthew, if they are able to cycle each other to the lead, anybody behind him is going to be willing to work with him and push him to the lead, especially if it's teammate of somebody that's needing to stay in.
Run.
David Edwards, massive run on the inside here.
up the middle. That was a power move if there ever was. The 15 hasn't been in the picture all night. He was in that backpack losing time. Now that caution gave him a chance. He's locked in. He has nothing to lose. He's showing he's ready to go out here and win himself another race tonight.
Yeah, and as soon as that caution flag waved, David Edwards first went over the radio saying, "Thank you, boys. That's what I needed." Ooh, a little bit of contact with the 83. The 83 carrying a big run going into turn one. Now the 83 up into the wall, losing a bunch of momentum.
Very close. That almost sent Edwards head first into the wall. He's looking to the outside of Smerol. A little bit of a side draft here. This is going to set it up 3 wide. Here comes Brian Fine to the middle lane in that 98 third car back. It is getting very wild. Here goes Richard Gonzalez looking up top, maybe to give his teammate David Edwards to get this 3 wide action going with 6 to go. Ruben coming to 5 to go. Can they keep this action up for the final 5 laps?
Well, they're going to have to, or there's going to be quite a few junked race cars now. Looks like Brian Fine going to back out of it, allow David Edwards to fall in line. Richard Gonzalez still, though, in that third lane, looking to get up here and help his teammate. Going to be trying to get inside right behind the 15. Not quite clear, though. Stephen Carey trying to push Gonzalez as well on that third lane, but now we got Donkey Punch teammates. Third and fourth car in the outside lane here against MR73 teammates, first and second in the outside lane. Oh, this is going to get dicey. There's going to be some 3 wide action here.
There it is, going 2 wide at the moment, but like you said, the teammates are all compiling together, and it's getting ready to get turned into some very, very wild action here as we head to 4 to go. Gaudio still leading the way. Here they come by the lap. Matt Upbrook in the damaged race car up top. He's going to let them all go by. Great job by him and great job by the rest of the field. Ooh, I believe the 6 of Richard Gonzalez's teammate might actually put him in the wall there.
I have to go back and look. I don't know if maybe Matt was just trying to make sure he gave everybody as much room as possible and kind of sacrificed himself there. It looks like the 6 pretty clean and didn't lose too much momentum out of it there. Definitely, if he did end up putting his teammate in the wall, not a popular move, whether he's on the lead lap or not. But man, these guys, I'm surprised we haven't seen the 15 and the 6 pull out yet. But also, it looks like the 14 and 73 haven't been able to make much headway on the leaders on the inside lane.
Not much headway at all, and the 2 drivers looking to win to get in. Right now, Zach Salin, 11th place on that bottom lane, stuck many cars back, and Matthew Duda directly at the back of this draft pack. Those 2 are going to need to make something happen here in 3 to go, or they will not be moving on to the round of 12.
And unfortunately, to be in the position to get pushed to the front, looks like the 15 finally going to go to the outside, 6 going with them now. Going to be 3 wide at the front here for the lead. And Matthew Dude, if you're in a position you have to win, you have to be comfortable being aggressive here, making those moves through the field, and just doesn't. Oh, it's a little bit of contact. Steven Racing gets turned. Matthew Dude able to barely scrape by there. No caution as of yet. Single car incident here.
Man, oh man, what a wild moment here as they're coming 2 cars by 3 wide across the line to take 2 to go. Which 2-car tandem is going to work? Who's going to get the help? The 6 of David Edwards with the great push. Here comes the MR73 duo in the middle, and Anthony Gaudio and Justin Hendry. Not the 2 teammates working together, though, as they head down the back straightaway. Will we see 3 wide on the white flag lap? We will have to see.
And I got to give the advantage to the 15 and the 6 on the high side. In the center of the corner, they're losing a little bit of ground. Oh, no, Christopher Earl goes around. The 6, Richard Gonzalez goes around.
Big wreck.
He just died.
Oh man, somebody is definitely hurt after that wreck. That is a major incident. Jeff Carson, he went flying.
I have to go back here and see what exactly caused this. I think Michael Ruin, the 7, just bobbled a little bit on the entry to turn 3. Came up and got the left rear of Chris Smerol to start that chain reaction there.
Yeah, here back on the freaky fast replay, this Nissan Central caution. You can see there, 7, just a little bit of contact between him and Smerol that sends him up into Richard Gonzalez, Stephen Carey, Brian Fine, Jeff Carson, the 8 of James Wright. Multiple drivers involved. And look, Zach Sandlin, not getting slowed down, trying to make it through, getting a heavy right front damage and barely missing the 8. But I tell you who did make it, Actually, Matthew Dude taking a little bit of damage, it seems, through that, but man, could have been worse for a few guys.
And it looks like this wreck is gonna be eliminating the I mean, unless there is a huge wreck on the white flag lap here that allows either Sandlin or the 55 to somehow thread the needle and make it through when everybody else gets collected. I think with the amount of damage that these two cars are going to have, they're just not going to be able to carry the speed and clean air that they need to lead a line. I think unless they get that big chain reaction on the white flag lap, I think their hopes of winning this race are pretty much over.
Yeah, they're going to need definitely a gigantic wreck. And it's going to have to create some mayhem here in this next restart and coming to the checkered flag, because cars definitely hurt for that 57 and the 55. But we're going to have our first green-white checkered attempt of the night. 2 possible attempts. And we'll see if we get that Sheffield Graphics white flag. The race is official. Anything that happens after that. So we'll have to see what these drivers can do. But man, Gaudio have been very strong tonight holding that lead, but now it's going to split a lot of this up. It's going to split the teammates up. But the thing that Gaudio hasn't had, he hasn't had a teammate, or him or Hendry. So these two have been up front really fighting hard all night without teammates, and it's looked good.
Well, it's pretty much, 4 guys saying, hey, we kind of lost our help in that one, especially if you're Malarkey or Edwards. And just, you've got to stick with the guy that lines up in front of you here and hope that you can generate a good run. The quicker you can get the guy, if you're the guy pushing, the quicker you can get the guy ahead of you out from in front of you, the quicker you're going to be able to try to make a charge yourself to go for the lead. And I've also got to point out here, Zach, that Gaudio and Hendry both last pit on lap 20. David Edwards pit on that same lap, but he came in at lap 29 to top off during that caution. He's good on fuel. I don't know about this attempt here for the 3 and the 28, but if we go to a second attempt at a green-white checkered, they may end up running out of fuel.
That is a great point. I really didn't think about that. I mean, farthest we've seen somebody stretch it tonight is definitely, I believe, 22 laps, I believe. So right now we're nearing that zone. I mean, when they come back by next time, it's going to be, 2 laps past the green flag. So can they do another 2 laps under speed? We'll have to see. Man, I would definitely be worried if I was these drivers.
It's exactly what you don't want to see if you are the 3 or the 28, but also at this point, you can't afford to give up the track position to come in now. You've kind of made your bed by not pitting during that caution, the first caution we had, to make sure you're topped off and good on fuel. And it seems like, listening to Gaudio's in-car here, going through the gears, keeping it in 4th gear, trying to save just a little bit. Doesn't seem like he's clutching any, but definitely riding around in high gear here before they get to the zone to get ready to take the green flag and slap it back down into 2nd to get the restart going.
Well, if he's not clutching or shutting it off, he must feel pretty confident about making these next few laps.
Either he feels pretty confident, or he isn't even thinking about it, hasn't realized the situation he might find himself in. Hopefully, he doesn't end up running out of fuel, because running out of fuel, especially if you were leading that inside lane, nobody's got anywhere to go behind you, and as fast as they're going to catch you, you can get run over in a hurry, and then it will cause calamity for everybody else that doesn't happen to make it by the time that contact is initiated.
Well, do not miss it, ladies and gentlemen. The pace car is going to take its final possible turn off here tonight. We're going to be looking at 2 to go when they cross the line. Green flag is out. Green-white green-white checkered attempt number 1. As they head down the 1. Gaudio with the help of Hendry. Malarkey with the help of Edwards. The 2 drivers locked in on the outside. The 2 drivers fighting to make their way in on the bottom.
And I think if you're Gaudio and Hendry, just hoping that they take the white flag here, not going to have to make any extra laps, having to go through the gears another time, definitely not going to hurt or help the fuel mileage whatsoever. But Malarkey and Edwards, great run on the outside here. A little bit of space up between them as they go into 3, whereas Hendry into
major wreck. Oh, and
And
Sandlin is underneath Edwards.
he's trying to drop him off on pit road.
He gave him a tow. Wow, that changes everything right there. Just pushing from Hendry, I believe, and it sends the 3 around into Malarkey, Edwards, Haru. Multiple drivers involved. Steve Potter making his way through though. But
I
go back
was
on the
just
freaky fast replay here to check out what happened.
Just about to talk about the spacing that Hendry was able to keep with Gaudio, helping them stay fast as they were on the inside, but just a little bit too much going into the corner for the 28. Just a slight touch to the right rear of the 3, and it just hooked him straight up. Nothing Gaudio could do about it, nor Malarkey, and unfortunately nowhere to go for David Edwards, getting collected by Justin Hendry as well. And now it's going to be 2 cars at the front. Hendry and Perry. Brandon Perry, where did he come from? Been quiet all night, just taking it easy, able to keep his car out of trouble. He's going to be clean on the front row with Hendry. With the fuel mileage in consideration, I've kind of got to give this one to Perry. It's looking pretty good.
That's very true. Fuel mileage included. This is getting scary for the 28 Hendry. But we're looking at Edwards get carried by Zach Sandlin. I mean,
Hendry hits pit road.
I mean, if there was ever a time for planking, I don't know if this is the time, David. That was like a 2018 thing, I'm pretty sure.
Getting a good view of the outside of the track.
It's got to be a wild ride. You know, you're like, my wheels ain't touching the ground.
And look how calm he looks. So calm, though. Another day in the office.
Did not expect to see this here at Daytona. Like, oh, and then hard collision as the car drops back onto the racetrack hard.
I've heard
Damn,
8 tires better than 4, but this is ridiculous.
Oh, man. Not many cars making it through there. If Sandlin could have made it through that, Brandon, that would have been his good shot there. But you can see definitely not a great moment for him as he carried the 15 around this racetrack.
Well, as we were watching that, the 28 had to hit pit road. He's going to be coming out, looks like 5th position here. But we've got Steve Potter in the 94. He's going to be another car that's been able to keep it clean and miss all these wrecks. He's going to be rolling off in the 3rd position. Looks like at the moment, it looks like Michael Haru, with his damage, staying out as the leader, hoping that maybe if there's an incident, it looks like Anthony Gaudio may have blown his engine as he's rolling slow on the apron in 3 and 4. Haru seems to be trying to stay out to hope that there's a caution before he has to give up the lead. But again, I mean, Brandon Perry, just by virtue of being in that position ahead, going to be sitting in a pretty good spot. But Steve Potter looking to have a really good race for himself, up 14 positions, easily the biggest mover of the race in 3rd right now. Chris Meroldo still hanging tough in 4th after his damage from one of the previous incidents. If these guys get wadded up ahead of him, it's still not over for the 14.
And there's a lot of possibilities here, and Steve Potter, Brandon Perry, looking to maybe bring home a win. And Michael Haru, with the damage he has, it's going to be hard to do, I believe. Smerol also in that 14. He's there. Justin Hendry, Stephen Carey. And we got a good shot for drivers here. And look, Matthew Dude. He actually has one of the better looking cars. If something happens in front of him, he has a chance, Brandon.
Considering that he had a car on top of him not too long ago, the fact that that car looks that clean is pretty remarkable. It's definitely not over for the 55. His track position not looking too good. But again, if something happens here, it's going to happen on the white flag, though. If they get a caution before they take the white flag, the field is frozen. And he's got to hope that it happens on the white flag and everybody ahead of him either gets involved or has to check up a ton. And I think if you're Matthew Dude and you see that smoke ahead of you on the white flag lap, you don't lift. You've got to hope that the seas part for you and you come out the leader.
That is all he can do. Lose no momentum in that 55. It's all for broke now. This race will mean nothing if he cannot win it. Can he do it? We'll have to see in that Ninja Turtle number 55. I tell you what, we've seen the Ninja Turtle car win at Chicagoland. Can he do it here tonight at Daytona? As we're seeing here, Michael Haru going to lead us to green here in our final green-white checkered. Pace car pulls off this time. Haru. Green flag in the air. There he is. Haru off and away. He gets a great start. But I tell you what, one driver with a great start is Steven Rasick in the 2. He had somewhat of a Kyle Busch start, but the run dies out as he gets to the pack. Here goes Steve Potter in the 94 with Justin Hendry in the 28 directly behind.
Hendry taking advantage of the checkup. Brandon Perry not going on that restart. Hendry able to take advantage. Thought his chance for the win might have been over having to stop for fuel this late, but now going to be shooting to the outside. Going to have Stephen Carey helping with the draft behind him for the second lane, but Stephen Carey now going to the inside to help Steve Potter. Going to have Chris Smerol on the outside with the damaged race car. Still very fast for the 14. See if he goes 3 wide, and he decides to. Going to leave Hendry in the middle here in the sucker hole. And it looks like Matt Upright going to be going with the 14 to the outside. Hendry in a bit of trouble here. Coming out of turn 4 now, looking to take the white flag. A little bit of contact.
Whoa. Contact 3 wide as they cross the line. Can Steve Potter come back? White flag in the air, brought to you by Sheffield Graphics. One final time. Who's going to be your Sheffield Graphics race winner? Uprook's got the help. Who advances? It's all types of questions here as we go through 1 and 2. Matthew Dude still in that 7th position on the bottom lane. He needs to win this race to go on. But Steve Potter looking for his first win of the season.
It looks like the option's closing up pretty quickly for that of Matthew Dude. Now you've got Jake O'Shea looking to come up here and help. Oh, Smerol, but he got into the wall. Looks like Smerol's going to be all by himself. Steve Potter battling really hard. Hendry still keeping even on the outside here. Going to get the run out of turn 4. And it looks like it may be Hendry by a nose. But here comes Potter.
Potter coming back.
Potter
wins the race. He's your Sheffield Graphics race winner. Justin Hendry 2nd. Stephen Carey 3rd. Steve Potter with the race win. 1st of the season. Man, oh man. A driver comes in here tonight and spoils it for them all. Steve Potter is your race winner here tonight.
Not going to help him too much. But, man, a win's a win. And especially a win at Daytona. They're so hard to come by because everybody's so even and everybody's got the same chances. Man, that was, again, nail biter right down to the finish there. Able to get the run right when it counted. Thought for sure the 28 going to have it with the high side advantage there, but Steve Potter hanging tough, getting a little bit of help from Carey. Able to pull out the win here tonight.
What a job. Hendry had the run off of 4, but Potter had the run back down the front straightaway to win it all as he celebrates here tonight at the Daytona International Speedway as he's your Sheffield Graphics race winner here tonight, the ARCA Evolution Series. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, he is not in the playoffs, so he is a spoiler in all this. And guess what? He's 17th in points, so he's leading that there and building on that points lead there in that position. As he celebrates here on the front straightaway, we will be right back as we get our top 3 finishers here tonight for our post-race interviews. All right, we are back here, everybody, for our post-race interviews tonight here at the ARCA Evolution Series at the Daytona International Speedway for the final cutoff race of the round of 16. Our third place man is Stephen Carey. Let's hear from him in the 83. Hey, Stephen, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man?
Go ahead, buddy.
Hey, man, well, a great race for you, man. Able to come out here third. Wild race nonetheless here down at the very end. You're able to scrape by to get yourself in that third position and move yourself on into the next round of the playoffs, buddy. How does that feel here tonight at Daytona?
Feels pretty good after the eventful first 2 races of the season. I just wanted to get out of here and survive, and for a minute there, that looked like it wasn't going to happen. But yeah, I'm stoked for getting the third place, but actually more stoked for my buddy Steve getting the win there tonight.
Yeah, that's definitely awesome to see Steve get that win. Great help from you there at the end, man. That was a fun bout to watch you guys all coming down at the end there. So great racing out there on the track, man. We head off to Bristol next week to start the round of 12. How do you feel about going into Bristol next week for that race? Because it's going to be very important to start off well there.
Yeah, I love Bristol, and especially in these cars. I've done quite a few races in these cars at Bristol, so pretty confident going in there. So just keep it clean, keep it fast, and see how it plays out.
Well, man, we'll have to see how that all plays out next time here, buddy. But congrats on your third place finish here tonight. Before we let you go, though, man, anybody else to shout to?
Yeah, everybody at the 3SW Racing, of course, learnsetup.com guys, and you guys for on a great broadcast, and obviously RSR to put up a fun league, and we can have great races like this.
Well, Steven, congrats on third here tonight, man, and third and first for your team, like you pointed out, buddy. So congrats on that, and we'll catch you next week at Bristol.
Thanks. See you there.
All right, that was the 83 of Stephen Carey. Now let's move on to our second place man. Justin Hendry had the lead by a nose, I would say 100 feet before the line. Then Steve Potter fights back to take the win from him. What a good night for Justin Hendry, though, up front, leading lots of laps and fighting for that lead. Hey, Justin, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man?
How's it going, Zach?
It is going pretty well, Justin. I tell you what, man, up there all night in that front, in that 28 machine, fighting for that lead in laps. It was a great night for you, man, as definitely came in here needing to get a good finish. So any of those drivers in that bottom 4 did not put you in a dangerous zone, man. How's it feel to come out here, to survive Daytona and come out here with second?
Survive Daytona, I mean, that's a victory in itself right there.
Well, man, coming off of 4 there, you definitely it looked like it was possibly your moment there, as you had the lead coming off of 4. Were you surprised he was able to get the run back, and do you think that was down to really just some side drafting?
Yeah, and then he had his teammate behind him pushing a little bit too. I didn't really have, I mean, there was a car behind me, but he wasn't right there with me, wasn't able to quite keep up. So a little bit of run coming off of it, but wasn't able to quite keep it there at the end because didn't have much help behind me. But I know the guy behind me was trying, but the side draft was brutal this race. It would not let you by.
Yeah, it definitely like it was very tough to pass here tonight with the side draft. Both lines seem to be stalling out as they got side by side, man. But nonetheless, you're able to bring home second, move on to the next round of the playoffs, put yourself in the round of 12. And next week we head off to next race we head off to Bristol. How you feel about going into there to start off the next round?
Oh man, next round starting Bristol. That should be pretty exciting. Looking forward to it though. I can't wait to get there and excited to move on to the next round. So we'll keep pushing. See if we can't put it where we need to put it in one of these races here at the end.
Hey man, definitely coming close here tonight. At some point, it's going to be you and Victory Lane, Justin. So congrats on second here tonight. Before we let you go, though, man, anybody else to shout to?
I'll just shout out to everybody in the league, Ryan for running it, teammate Brian Fine. He got mixed up in a little bit of stuff tonight, so he didn't finish the race. But great teammate and good old buddy of mine. Just thank everybody. You guys up in the booth as well.
Well, we appreciate you guys out on the track, Justin. Congrats on second, man. And we'll catch you next time, Bristol, buddy.
Y'all have a good evening.
You too. All right, that was Justin Hendry, your second place man. But first win of the season, second top 5 in 18 starts. The 94 Steve Potter may not have the greatest season. It didn't make the playoff, but he came here tonight and won at Daytona. Let's hear about his first win here this season. Hey, Steve, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy?
I hear you, Zach. Gotcha.
Hey, Steve, well, congrats on winning tonight. You're the Sheffield Graphics Race Winner here tonight, the ARCA Evolution Series here at the Daytona International Speedway, man. How does that sound?
That's awesome. Especially, I like the sounds of the Fat Boy race team getting in the front tonight. So, Fat Boy ice cream for everybody. So, totally unexpected. I went into tonight, and I'm 17th in points, and I told everybody I'm just going to ride around the back and let the points guys do their thing and stay out of their way. And things started happening there toward the end. I found myself moving up, and then lo and behold, I'm on the second row and going into one on the restart. Michael moved up a little bit. Man, there it was. After that, I was hugging the bottom. I was letting all that left side weight from the Fat Boy ice cream just let her hug the bottom so I could keep her down there. I got a great push from Stephen Carey coming out of 4 to get me to, checkered flag. And it was, ironically, Justin and I had run a ton of laps in practice next to each other in that same scenario. And he's on the outside, and I kind of knew I'd get a run on him getting into 3, but he got a really good run in the middle of 3 and 4 and come back around a little bit. Oh man. But no, it turned out great and a lot of fun. Honestly, was not looking for a W tonight, just looking to stay out of trouble. So this is great. Fantastic.
Yeah, it definitely is. First one of the season, man. I tell you what, that's a great way to be 17th in points. Like I said, before we brought you up, you didn't make the playoffs, but man, you're 17th in points right now, in the position to win that award. So you're building the points on that gap too. So how big do you feel like this race win is here? Because you're definitely building that gap as the race goes on.
Yeah, that'll definitely help that out. And unfortunately, during the season, I coach varsity high school baseball, and so I had to miss a few weeks because our games kept lining up our schedules on Tuesday nights. So it would have been fun to be in the playoffs, but this will kind of make up for it. And 17th position, put a little distance between myself and I think Jake's back there tonight. So, no, this is great, fantastic, a lot of fun.
Awesome stuff, Steve, man. Well, congrats on the win here tonight, man. Before we let you go, though, anybody wants to send a shout out to you for your victory here tonight in Daytona?
Yeah, absolutely. All my teammates helping out spotting and everything, the Jetsman, and also the push, and just riding up through with James Wright from the Steve and the Wright crew. So thanks to all those guys, and thank the guys over there, Brock and Nolan and Harold and Tritt, all those guys for supporting me and giving me tips throughout the year. Brock and Nolan for getting me into this deal. I used to race real cars, and actually right now I'm pretty jacked up. It almost feels like I won a real race, so it's pretty cool. So thanks to all those guys, and thanks for my wife for letting me have Tuesday nights to do this crazy thing and get the setup here and take up space. And so, no, just a great time. Really enjoyed it.
Well, Steve, definitely made a great win here tonight. That's awesome to hear. You have a great night, and we'll catch you next time at Bristol, buddy.
Hey, one last thing, I'd like to thank Ryan and all the guys that run this league, and you guys for broadcasting. I teach high school machining and CNC, and I actually have students that watch the broadcast. So if any of them are watching, JC, if you're out there. Yeah. So I got the high school kids watching, and they love the broadcast. So thanks for doing that. I really appreciate it. And again, thanks to Ryan and all the guys who make the league go. So it's pretty cool.
That's really awesome, man, Steve. Well, thank you very much for bringing viewers to us, buddy, and putting on a show out there on the racetrack for us each and every week. It's a blast to call. You have a great night, and like I said, we'll catch you at Bristol.
You too. Thank you, guys. See you there.
All right, that was your Sheffield Graphics race winner. Great story there from Steve Potter. It's always a good thing when a new person wins. It just leaves a smile on my face, and to hear that story in the background, that is really, really cool to hear. So shout out to Steve Potter there for the win tonight, and I'm sure his sons are pretty happy right now too. So definitely cool, and maybe some of his students out there, if you're out there in the chat, hit us up. So definitely awesome stuff. But race results here now, as Steve Potter was able to bring home that race win. Second's going to go to Justin Hendry in that 28, just come up 2,400 short. Third's going to go to Stephen Carey. Fourth's going to be Matt Upbrook. Fifth's going to be Christopher Smerol. Sixth's going to go to Michael Haru. Seventh's going to be James Wright. Eighth's going to go to Matthew Dude. Ninth's going to be Stephen Rasick. 10th's going to be Justin Malarkey. 11th, Brandon Perry. 12th's going to be Jake Shea. 13th, David Edwards. 14th, Zach Sandlin. 15th, Anthony Gaudio. 16th, Richard Gonzalez. 17th, Brian Fine. And around your field in the 18th position is Jeff Carson. As that's your race results here tonight from the ARCA Evolution Series here from the Daytona International Speedway. The conclusion of the round of 16. What a final race, Brandon, man. What are your final thoughts on this wild finish?
Well, first, I mean, it's awesome, like you said, see somebody new getting victory lane, and just guys that don't happen to find victory lane very often. It's that excitement and just the joy that you can hear in their voice when they get to come up here and talk to us and just kind of live in that moment of getting a victory. And again, man, it was another classic super speedway finish. Door to door, right there to the end, right across the line by half a car. And I mean, coming out of 4, we thought 28 was going to have it. Just had the run. But then right at the end, when it mattered the most, Steve Potter able to generate the run and just sneak out the win here. And like I said, he wasn't even trying to win. He was just trying to play it safe and make sure he didn't ruin any of the guys that were running for points in playoff positions here. Just trying not to ruin their race. And sometimes that's all you need to do is play it safe, and it works out for you. But also, any of his students might want to workshop him some type of trophy or a plaque or something. To remember, you got to put a 94 on the side of that thing.
Definitely would be pretty cool, man. That's an awesome story to hear from him, and just an awesome victory. And what you brought up about, we thought the 28 was going to win. Coming off the corner, he had the run. I'm telling you, any other year in iRacing, that 28 would have won that race right there, unless there had been some type of contact to slow him down, because that's just what we've seen throughout the years. But with this new side drafting, that looks so much more realistic with the way he pulled out ahead, but that 94 was able to get to the quarter panel and pull him back. And from there, it was the run in his position, the shorter lane on the bottom, to take the win for Steve Byron at 94 and be an upset for the rest of the playoff drivers as the non-playoff driver wins. That's something I love to see. It shakes up the whole field, and definitely was a wild night, and can't wait to head to Bristol. But remember, do not miss at 9:20 Eastern. We have the RSR Cup Series right after this going live as they take on the Daytona International Speedway for their final race of the round of 16. So more drama and more action to come here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Do not miss it. But let's send it up to Robert Moyer Jr., our producer, to close out tonight's broadcast, as he is also the birthday man. Send him birthday wishes, everybody, please.
Oh, please. I'm okay. Just another year older, but man, well, we seen this on Monday with Sam and Brandon finishing crazy finish at Daytona. Well, RSR does the same thing. It's Daytona racing, man, and it came down like you said, Zach. Any other year that 28 would have had it in the bag, but this new side drafting, the new model, they actually on iRacing actually put a post out about the new physics of this draft model, and it was actually a pretty interesting read. And we're actually seeing it out on the track live, and it's actually pretty close to what these real life drivers deal with when they come to Talladega and Daytona and Super Speedway and things like that. But all right, well, congratulations to Potter, congratulations to his classmates. Hopefully everybody's passing, straight A students. That's good. Hopefully you're studying. Make sure you have fun there in school and finish out there. I'm sure Steven is a very good let me say it right. Steve is a very good teacher out there. But congratulations to him again, like you guys said. It was great, actually, seeing somebody different win. Nothing against anybody else, but it's always nice to see somebody else wind up in there in victory lane. But, well, guess what? Like Zach said, at 9:20 Eastern, we're going to bring out the cup cars here for the last race of 16. And I got a funny feeling it's going to get heated, guys, and I got a funny feeling that we're going to see some beating and banging going on out there towards the end of the race. So make sure you tune in at 9:20 Eastern so you don't miss any of the action here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting with them guys, with Brandon Colley, Zach Hall calling all the action. But until then, we're going to say God bless everybody. We love you all. Peace out.
Later, everyone.
Bye, everybody.